Hey guys, welcome back to another video of Galaxy After Man. Today we're doing something a little different. Today I'm doing a 10 subscriber special. We're going to be looking at the planet within the hive known as Aphris 2. We're going to go over the solar system of the planet itself, and the beautiful and mysterious life that inhabits the world. So, thank you for 10 subscribers. And in truth, I know I believe 7 of the subscribers personally in my personal life. So that means at least 3 people have actually subscribed and watch and continuously enjoy my videos. And that's just mind boggling to me. So, this video is for you guys, and thank you so much for sticking around and supporting me and helping me make these videos. It means a lot, and this is a really fun thing to do. I'm trying to grow this community so we all can have fun and, get lost in the story of Galaxy After Man. So, enough of me rambling. Let's get right into the story. Aphris 2 is one of the most unique worlds within the Hive. The world Aphris 2 is the second planet out of 5 within the Aphris star system. Being a world of vast green oceans reaching depths of miles deep, dense forests cover most of the world, and these forests are made up of plant life, consisting of towering, black-trunked trees with weird, strange purple leaves. Huge mountain ranges with canyons overflowing with jungle life. This planet would be known for its countless elegant green waterfalls. But a part of the world that's most well known across the Hive is the planet's famous volcanic mountains spewing out molten silver and titanium. This would capture the minds and imagination of countless beings. Yet, it's what lies within these regions that is most famous. To begin, we will take a look at the star known as Aphris. Being a main sequence star, it's 1.2 times the mass and strength of Earth's sun, and is around 6 billion years old, yet it still burns bright, giving life to the world Aphris 2 and warmth to the inner planets within the star system. Starting off with the planets that inhabit the star system of Aphris, the planet known as Aphris 1 is a world with a sad history. A planet just barely large enough to maintain a healthy atmosphere and gravity for life to thrive. This planet was one of a massive ocean that covered its entire landscape in a single ocean, with constant depths of around 2 miles deep, with the deepest, darkest locations of its planet reaching all the way to 4 miles deep. This planet was healthy, teeming with life within the oceans. While the planet was in truth very hot, and the water very warm, even hot and uncomfortable for most life forms, it still was a thriving world. However, the planet would have now lost its magnetic field. Due to the planet being smaller in size, its molten core would solidify and its magnetic field would all but disappear, allowing the very strong solar winds and radiation to strip away most of its atmosphere, and in time, even its oceans would be ripped from the planet. Today, the world only possesses a single, salty, iron-rich red ocean filled with only microbes, while the rest of the dry, hot, barren planet is covered in the skeletal remains of sea creatures titanic in size, left to dry out in the sun. This world's few remaining life forms are doomed to extinction. We will get to Aphris 2 in a moment, after we look at the rest of the worlds in the star system. Don't worry, we haven't forgotten about the jewel of the system. Aphris 3 is a large gas giant. Its beautiful blue and white colors would give it a sense of calming and beauty. However, the planet itself is ravaged by fearsome storms, constantly and without pause. This world has around 25 small moons, barely considered round, spherical moons. However, its single large moon, known as Phitanus, is one of secrets. The large moon has little to no atmosphere and is covered by a layer of ice over 5 miles thick. However, thanks to the constant tug and squeeze from not just the gas giant, but other moons in the system, Phitanus has a just barely molten and active core. This allows the ocean to survive just below the ice. This ocean is around 2 miles deep and is pitch black. Or so it was believed. Probes sent down under the ice have all been destroyed by something lurking deep within it. Yet, the few videos and photos captured show a world of bright, glowing red kelp and schools of see-through fish with glowing red bones. This ocean under the ice has captured the minds of many. Aphris 4 is another gas giant that has a hazy brown color to it. This world, however, would be host to many energy harvesting stations controlled by the Hive in order to harness the raw energy within the planet. And because the planet is the largest within the whole star system and holds over 56 small moons, this world would sometimes be called Aphris Prime. However, the moons around the planet would be very small and mostly just trapped space rocks that are incapable of sustaining any life. Yet, with only 5 moons just forming into circular moons, and one of which having an icy shield covering its surface, some can't help but wonder, perhaps, maybe life has found a way to survive in this harsh environment. Aphris 5, the final planet within the star system, would be a metal-rich world. Yet, it is barren, and it doesn't even have ice. No water of any kind would exist on the planet, and the world is nothing but dry rock that's frozen solid. While being a little smaller than Aphris 2, this planet, in fact, has more gravity due to its sheer density. The planet has no atmosphere as well, as the world is too cold to maintain one. Yet, even with this, many mining outposts would harvest the planet's rich mineral wealth, and orbiting the planet are 2 minor moons that just are not large enough to become spherical. The moons would be named Aphris 5A and Aphris 5B. Returning to the main planet within the system, Aphris 2 itself is a strange world among the science community. The planet has an uncommonly large and hot liquid metal core composed of mostly radioactive and volatile elements being broken down and released as heat. This, plus the constant tug from the planet's single massive moon named Renax, results in Aphris 2 being very volcanically active. These volcanic areas pump out the famous rich lava river systems. Yet, contrary to common belief, the lava rivers that flow across the world's landscape are not just made of precious metals. The lava is made of liquid rock and molten metals like nickel, tin, and iron. However, even with this, the fact of the matter is, the famous lava flows of Aphris 2 are in fact made up of 40% titanium and 20% pure liquid silver. This mixture would give the lava a clean, bright orange and yellow glow that some would even consider quite beautiful and majestic. The planet itself would have a very rich oxygen-based atmosphere, breathable to most forms of life. While the world is seen as beautiful, its weather is not. The planet's surface suffers from massive, near constant storms, some even planet-wide at times. The storm systems cause a harsh, brutal rain, with winds that commonly reach over 115 miles per hour, to even aggressive lightning strikes that seem to target things. These storms are powered by the heat from the sun, mostly, but also from the world's vast oceans that make up around 46% of the planet's surface. The planet ranges slightly in terrain. One who visits the world can find endless forests and dense jungles, or soft, rolling grasslands. There are the famous volcanic rivers, of course, and molten wastelands, or the occasional desert, and the massive, vast green oceans. Yet, with the planet being a warmer world, much too hot for polar ice caps to form, the planet Aphris 2 would lack any ice in any real capacity. Aphris 2 is a planet that has earned the title of an ancient world. This is because complex life has existed on the planet for well over 1 billion years, allowing the life that inhabits the world to truly flourish, thrive, and evolve into strange and unique forms. Renax is a large moon that orbits close to Aphris 2. This means the moon has a great effect on the planet itself, being a strong culprit in the forming of fearsome storms on the planet's surface. However, the moon itself, strangely, is made of metals and other elements not found on the planet below. Stranger still is these elements that make up the moon are not even found within the Aphris star system itself. Many have given different theories to the reason for this, and the most widely accepted is, given the world's long and ancient history, it's most likely a random massive space rock drifted into the Aphris solar system, and continued further into the system, only to get trapped in the orbit of Aphris 2, turning it into the moon of the world. Yet, this theory would be controversial at best. Yet now, it's time to return to Aphris 2 itself. First, we must look at the world's nearly glowing green oceans and lakes. This is a result of microbes that photosynthesize using green pigment and chlorophyll. They dominate the sea and have overtaken it, leaving many theories that the planet just went through a massive extinction that wiped out the normal predators of the microbes. And with this has allowed the microbes to thrive and flourish uncontrollably within the sea, with the absence of any predators to contain them. But, journeying to the land, we find the most common and dominant form of land phototroph, the violet ash plants. This order of plant life is the single largest family tree to dominate the land, and is made up of countless different species that fill all roles on the planet's surface, from massive tree-like life to small grass forms, beautiful flowers to poisonous death traps, and everything in between. It's widely believed, however, that this has not been the dominant form of plant life on the planet's surface for all of its history, with evidence showing that strange other forms of plant life have been dominant in the past. Yet, given more proof to the theory that there was once a mass extinction not too long ago, these plants have taken over the land now, and it belongs to them. The most famous of these plants is the Great Breeze Tree. This massive plant stands at a height of 150 feet tall. This tree-like plant is the most common within the tree-filling species, and it's easy to see why. The plant is easily recognizable thanks to its purple leaf structures. These leaves are able to absorb most of the sun's rays, giving the plant much more energy than any other colors would. The leaf structure of the plant is in a strange shape, being spike-like with thorns. This fleshy leaf part has, in truth, evolved perfectly for this world. It seems to make little sense, yet this design is in order to allow the plant to survive the world's harsh, strong storms and winds. If the plant leaf was solid with no gaps, the strong storms would rip them apart. But with the gaps, or spikes as they look like, structures, it allows the wind to pass right through the leaves, leaving them unharmed and able to survive till after the storm to collect more of the sunlight. With the tree, like most plants in the family group, its trunk or wood parts are black and highly reinforced. Seen as strong as titanium itself, these trunks, these plants, need this strong armor to survive once more from the harsh storms, but also from large herbivores who would try and eat them. Yet something else would be not just strange, but kind of creepy about this plant. This plant, and the rest in its family tree, has a heart, an active pumping vein system, pumping a type of purple sap throughout the plant, which helps power it, but also gives it, the leaves, a sweet, rich flavor. Yet, another key feature of this plant is its many strange openings around the prime leaf at the top of the trunk. These holes are there in order to gather the rainwater, as sometimes water in the ground may be toxic thanks to the volcanic ash fields that the plant constantly has to deal with. So, rainwater is a more fresh and clean form of drinkable water for the plant. While the massive trees have dominated the niche of large plants, also in the family tree, there are the smaller purple fan grass. This is a common and most abundant form of low-to-the-ground plant that's around 1 foot tall, but can reach, in some species, over 27 feet tall. These plants, unlike their larger family tree relatives, lack many leaf systems. As a result, they only have a single main leaf. While this would be seen as a poor choice, as if the leaf is damaged, the plant may perish, this is not the case. The leaf is able to fully regrow within the span of 3 days, depending on the size of the plant, of course. This fast regrowing system is thanks to all the extra energy harvested from the sunlight and is stored in times of need, such as if the plant is attacked by a herbivore, or sometimes damaged in the most fearsome of storms. But like their tree relatives, it has purple leaves and the many typical tubes under its main leaf in order to collect rainwater. But moving on to some animal life, we first go up the food chain with the herbivores that inhabit the world of Aphris 2. One of the most common creatures on the planet would without question be the ironheads. While being the natural enemy and prey to the great Moltenasour, this animal has had to evolve and adapt in order to defend itself, resulting in a creature built like a tank, and soon would be an animal of great help to the hive. Evolving into a tank was an idea this particular animal took truly and ran with. Being a mammal, the ironhead stands at a height of 20 feet tall and a length of 30 feet long. This animal is made of pure muscle and dense bone. The animal's head would not be bone, but rather highly evolved, thick hair-like scales that infused with metals such as iron. These highly evolved hair scales would be interlocked together, forming a strong shell of armor, with large plates of this metal defense running down the animal's neck and shoulders. The reason for this type of evolved hair is not just to defend from physical attacks, but also the molten metal shots Moltenasour spray at enemies and their prey. This would be a slightly fireproof front shield for the Ironhead, so they can charge in for an attack. And to use for this attack, the animal has large, powerful horns in order to help defend itself and fight off any danger. The rest of the animal's fur also evolved with it being infused with copper. While not lava-proof like the iron head, this fur can help resist fire damage and physical attacks. The animal supports itself with 6 powerful legs, ending with 2 clawed toes. But the strangest question is how the animal, this mammal-based creature, infused metal into its body. The answer is simple. It uses its strong head to crush the metal-rich rocks around it in its habitat, and feeds on the rubble. This way, inside of the animal's stomach, the mineral wealth in the rocks can be broken down and used in order to be incorporated into its fur. While the animal seems strong and dangerous, which in fact it is, this life form also supports 8 beautiful light blue eyes. Making up most of this animal's diet would be mostly plants and fruits. The ironhead is mostly found in herds about 17 in size, ruled by the alpha male and female mate pair. While the story of the ironhead has always been one tangled with the Moltenasour, it's now twisted with the hive. Heat bugs would farm these great animals as food or for their fur. But this strong animal would be at times used as beasts of burden in times of need. Next on this world are the flame swordtails. Surviving on the world of such as Aphris 2 means you must defend yourself from the deadly Moltenasour. This unique mammal would evolve a way to defend itself, making it well known across the galaxy, and a feared life form, not just within the hive, but to many species who foolishly try to attack it. Being a mammal standing around 26 feet tall and around 47 feet long, this animal would be very large, yet would feed on plant life. However, this creature would have a deadly weapon, making it a fearsome creature. The animal's skull, neck, shoulders, and legs would support the same iron fur-like hairs that the iron heads possess. Yet this animal's key defense would be its tail. The animal's tail is made up of a mix of iron, silver, and mostly of titanium. The beast would bite the end of its tail and slash it through its own jaws, sharpening the blade and sparking a chemical reaction with the spit within its jaws, making the end of the sword tail burst into flames for a brief moment. Then, this tail is now molten hot, yet still incredibly sharp, sharp enough to cut through solid stone. Needless to say, few animals risk taking on this beast, yet this attack turns its tail so hot that it starts to fall apart. So when the tail slowly starts to turn molten and drop to the ground and becomes dull and weak, in order to help keep its tail healthy, this creature eats a large amount of metal-rich rocks to incorporate the raw ore into its tail. Another way this creature is different from its other mammals in the family tree would be it stands on its back 4 legs with 2 little arms. The animal, like nearly all mammals on the world of Aphris 2, would support 8 beautiful bright blue eyes. Males of the species, in contrast to the females, are often known to live short lives. This is because they constantly battle one another, or any other life form that enters into their territory. To make an example of them, they battle constantly. They do this to show their worth to females and hopefully impress them. They attack their rivals brutally, or any other animals that dare enter their territories, leaving the fallen bodies to rot. This attracts predators to feed on the rotting flesh, yet this only provides more sport to be hunted from the, at times, blood-crazed males. In the end, this animal would be transported across the galaxy to be used in many fighting arenas. Many species wish to battle such a beast to prove their worth, yet most fail to bring down this deadly creature. The Flamehorns is an animal forged from the dangers of Aphris 2. This creature would live up to the idea that in order to survive, you must be built like a tank that can take down a warship. While being a plant-eating mammal, this beast would stand at 25 feet tall and 39 feet long. Built like a tank, this animal's head is covered in the specialized fur made of iron-based scales, with the rest of its body supporting a light copper-colored fur, which would help resist against fire damage. Yet, its key feature is its double horns that burst into flames for defense. The horns would be made of a titanium-like material, just like the sword tails of the flame sword tail. While the structure of the horns are strong, the horns actually have pores in them. This is so fuel, like sweat, can drip onto the horns. When the flame horn feels threatened, they scrape their horns on the ground, sparking a chemical reaction that bursts the horns into flames. While the horns are so hot, they are nearly molten and razor sharp. This would be able to scare off most predators and defeat any who were foolish enough to remain and fight. Yet, like many other animals who use abilities like this, the flamehorn must always be repairing their horns, so the animal feeds on local metal-rich rocks. The animal supports itself on 6 powerful legs that push and pull the animal forth. However, on the back of the animal would be sharp spikes in order to defend its own back, as these animals are solo herbivores who must defend themselves and watch their own back. Yet these animals do possess the characteristic 8 beautiful light blue eyes that most mammals on the planet have. Males are well known for battling one another to the death in order to prove their worth to females. Also, they leave their young at an early age, allowing the female to raise it on their own. The females care and defend their young for about 2 years till they can defend themselves. Yet, the female young, while the males would leave after 2 years, the female young remain with their mother for an extra year to ensure the females have a better chance of surviving. But now, moving on to predators, the king Moltenasour, without question, is the apex predator of Aphris II, and holds a firm seat in the Hall of Galaxy's most deadly life forms. Yet, the heat bugs have managed to tame and even ride these beasts. Also, some species of Moltenasour are farmed and tended to, just like cattle. However, these are still fearsome predators at heart. They would hold a mythical-like status, if not even more feared than the great saw-jaws of Fungera itself, as the king Moltenasour would be a creature that seems to have crawled up from the lava pits of hell itself, a theory that does have some fact to it. This animal would be the basis for many hero and villain stories, truly leaving an impact on the heat bugs as a species. A fearsome predator that stands at a height of 42 feet tall and 70 feet long, this animal would be one of the most unique life forms in the galaxy. On the cellular level, this animal would have cells with a cell wall like a plant, yet this cell wall would be made of silver and titanium and other rock matter, along with biological matter, of course, too. But as a result, the animal's hide would be rock-like and as strong as titanium itself. The family tree of Moltenasaurs would be a unique one, fully separate from all other forms of life on the world. The Moltenasour would independently evolve from all other forms of life on Aphris II. Far later in the planet's history, after the main forms of life already evolved and dominated the planet's surface. Yet the King Moltenasour would prove itself as the top predator regardless. This creature would support some of the strongest, most powerful muscle of any known animal, with 2 pairs of front legs and a back pair of truly strong back legs, for 6 limbs in total. This creature would be seen as slow and a lumbering beast that can't move very fast. Yet any who believe this tale would prove to be a fatal mistake for any early explorers. The Moltenasour can reach speeds up to 34 miles an hour. While their body shines with a silver light ash color, the lava glow of some parts of their body are one of a key element. Their internal body temperature is so hot and powerful that they can melt rock and ore within them. This gives them their lava glow, as it truly is melted ore, as it's being slowly smelted within their body. They scoop up and feed on the lava rivers on the planet, which contain a very high metal content. Inside their body, the lava is processed and refined, and at the end, they simply excrete out what's known as a pearl ore. On the back of the beast would be 6 dorsal tubes. This is in order to let out extra heat and ash, along with blasting out useless waste such as molten rock and unneeded metals. And on the back of the head of the King Moltenasour would be a frill of extra tubes that, on command, can blast out molten rock that's stored in sacks within the skull. Releasing this powerful flame blast would be used as a warning to rivals or to impress mates. The King Moltenasour is also able to blast out a beam of molten metal at enemies or prey up to 32 feet far. This molten metal can quickly burn and kill any prey. And yes, this animal in fact does eat normal flesh, even though they feed on literal molten lava. They do need to hunt and feed on biological prey, which their favorite prey is flame sword tails, flame horns, but most of all, their most beloved meal is iron heads. The Moltenasour feeds on the lava rivers and smelts the metal within their body, draining it of energy and nutrients. And, like most animals whose bodies have extra waste, the creature needs to poop. But the Moltenasaurs are well known for excreting what's known as pearl ore. This pink and mostly bright, shining white and pink pearl is normally a little rough, but mostly smooth. Yet, at 5 times the size of a basketball, this metal is unlike any other on the element table, and would be unique to the Moltenasour themselves. The metal, while not the strongest nor the weakest, is one of the most beautiful and is highly prized to be forged into luxury goods or made into statues, artwork, or even armor. The eggs of the Moltenasour is truly one of a kind. Females being able to lay up to 5 eggs at a time would defend them ferociously, yet with the eggs being made of silver and mostly titanium, the egg is so strong there is little danger to it. And the egg itself would be so hot that it's nearly to the point of being molten. This is due to the baby inside producing so much heat from within the egg that inside the egg it's molten metal rather than any form of natural yolk like normal eggs. The infant would feed and absorb the high levels of minerals within this molten yolk. These eggs are so beautiful and so unique. This has made a market for them, as wealthy or royal people wish to have these eggs on display in massive chilled jars to prevent them from hatching. The egg remains in its slightly molten looking state, yet the baby will not hatch even though it's still alive. It's just more or less in a hibernation-like state. Males of the species are slightly larger than their female counterparts, yet not by much. Males are covered in scars of many battles as they constantly fight one another and get injured due to hunts. Yet they are caring fathers that support the young even after hatching, and males and females mate for life. Females, on the other hand, defend the eggs and leave the hunting more to males, and prioritize caring for the eggs and the young once they hatch. The female will lay the eggs in a shallow pool of cool magma to keep the eggs safe from danger, and then they will actually barf up a lumpy mixture of molten metal and rock in order to cover the eggs to defend them from anything that might still try to attack them. The female is highly protective of her eggs, making it very hard for any predator, or mostly any hunter wanting to steal eggs for a profit, nearly impossible to gather them. Within the Moltenasour family tree, there are many different species, yet there are 3 that are truly most well known. There, of course, is the Great Moltenasour, which is the most common, yet there is also the rarer subspecies known as the Emerald Moltenasour, given its name by its green, toxic look it has. This subspecies exists in the planet's upper pole region. It's unknown why this animal has a strange green, toxic glow to it. Some say radiation, but there is really no radiation in the area. But the most leading theory is that the Emerald Moltenasour feeds on emeralds and melts the gems within their body. Yet the strangest subspecies of Moltenasour would not even be found on Aphris 2 itself. The Azul Moltenasour, a bright blue species with a blue molten glow, would in fact be found on the faraway world of swamp ticks. How this great animal got so far away from its home world is unknown, and fossil records have shown that the animal has been on swamp ticks for millions of years. No one knows why the creature is there or how it got there. It wasn't the hive or any present-day nation that brought this creature to swamp ticks, yet it is the alpha predator on the planet, and the most feared. The Moltenasour is truly a unique creature on Aphris 2, and is one that is almost worshipped by the hive at its sheer beauty and ferociousness. Yet many species keep it in zoos or in gladiatorial battles, and in fact, the hive does as well, as drones and warriors wish to prove their worth by battling this creature in brutal fights, yet respect would always be held with this creature, and would even at times be used as war mounts for the hive during times of war. This creature, the Moltenasour, has truly earned its place within the hive. In conclusion, this planet holds many secrets and mysteries. Why are the rivers made of mostly silver and titanium? How can a planet form and constantly produce these strange molten rivers? Why is the planet's moon, Renax, so different from all other bodies within the Aphris star system? These questions may never be answered. However, what is known is that Aphris 2 is truly a unique world, and one that will always be protected by the hive.